It's time for more Steam Deck coverage, and we're going into two games that are also available on the Switch in excellent form: the Portal franchise. We already know that the Nintendo Switch can run these games at a flawless 60 FPS, so what about Valve's handheld? Let's take a look at how Portal and Portal 2 can run on the Steam Deck. For a brief summary, these are physics puzzle platformers. In both titles, you use a gun to create portals, walking through puzzle rooms, essentially using those portals to fling and teleport yourself around the room, defying physics and solving puzzles. They are classic Valve PC games and offered a meme and catchphrase that even non-gamers can recognize with "the cake is a lie." Anyways, let's get to performance and visuals, and it's absolutely fantastic, as you'd expect from a handheld also made by Valve. When you boot up both games, they default to maximum settings for everything: resolution, textures, shadows, and the list goes on, and I wouldn't change a single one of them. It's pretty clear once you dive into Portal 1 that things are really good. You can run around throwing portals on the wall and solving puzzles at a perfect and never dropping 60 frames per second. I played a pretty large chunk of Portal 1 and never saw a blemish in that performance. Granted, there are some slight hiccups when loading into the next stage, but that's something the game's always done. Even on the Switch, you get those little stutters for a couple seconds when loading from one puzzle room to the next. So what about Portal 2? Does it stack up the same way, or do the enhancements create frame drops? They don't. Going through the single player campaign, you will get a perfect 60 FPS on high settings in Portal 2 as well. Even in the more chaotic environments of the broken down facility, I never saw the frames drop under 60 outside of during the loading sequences between chapters. And even better is the fact that the co-op multiplayer that you can do online to have two people running around on screen creating portals at the same time also has a perfect 60 frames per second from start to finish. That's it with performance, so let's talk about battery life. The longevity of these games is pretty much the same between both of them. If you run them on maximum brightness, you'll get about 4 hours out of Portals 1 and 2, and can bump that up to 5 hours if you lower brightness down. Comparing that with the Switch version, the Steam Deck gets about midway between the Switch Lite's 3 to 4 hours of battery life and V2 and OLED models' 6 to 7 hours. So would I recommend Portals 1 and 2 to Steam Deck users? I sure would. They run perfectly right out of the box at maximum graphical settings. You'll get a constant 60 FPS just like on Switch. You might not get as much battery life compared to the Switch OLED, but these are fantastic games that should be played regardless of the platform. And that's all I've got for you today. I'll be back soon with more Steam Deck performance and reviews. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great day.